What's going on, everybody? It's Monster Chappy. We're back for another Madden 13 gameplay, and today we're taking on a subscriber in a money game. This for 10 bucks. I've got the Green Bay Packers. He has the Niners, and this is on the PlayStation 3 side of things. So let's go ahead and dive into this now. What I wanted to talk about in this video was the difference between money games and free games, and also clocking and all that good stuff that has to do with clocking. So let's go ahead and dive into that. And the difference between a money game and a free game, obviously it usually has a lot more meaning, but what I want to talk more about is the play style, and the main first one I'm going to talk about in this game, and right here we get a nice user pick, but the main one I want to talk about in this video is clocking, and that's going to be one of the big major differences that you're going to see in a money game between a free game and a money game for the most part. Sometimes you'll see guys clocking ranked games if, they take those very seriously, but if you're playing a tournament play or something like that, they definitely probably won't ever clock you unless it's for the money, and they definitely probably will clock you if it is for money. So one thing you need to be mindful of is what is clocking. First off, clocking is basically, letting the play clock run down to like 2 seconds or 3, or, just really letting the clock just milk as much as possible. And before, I've said this before, if you feel your opponent's better than you, and you just have to be brutally honest with yourself. If you feel like they're better than you, and you feel like you can shorten the game up as much as possible, as few plays, as few possessions as you can, that's one benefit of clocking. Another benefit is if, you get up in the game and you're not trying to lose the lead, you're not trying to give them too many opportunities, again, basically shortening up that game as much as possible, again, goes back to clocking. So that is going to be a huge difference. Also, I've talked about this before, but managing the clock right before the half or right before the end of the game to make sure that you get the last possession, you get the final possession in that game, that's part of clocking as well, and that's one of the big differences again between playing for free and playing for money. So if you're transitioning from doing one or the other, or you kind of just want to know the difference between the two, that's going to be one of those major differences between the two, because there's nothing like, as you're going to see in this game, I've got a lead right here. Now I usually don't clock until if I get up 21 and I get possession of the ball. Yes, I'm going to start clocking to death, because in my eyes that's the point when the game is over. But depending on what site you're playing on, the game isn't over, or depending on the rules that you predetermined before the game. Most tournament games, 21 in possession is game over, but if that's not the case, I'm definitely gonna start clocking like super tough. And you're gonna see in this game what the heck can happen, and how extreme clocking can actually go. And this is actually 6 minutes accelerated clock. And right here we start off the second half, we kick it off, and we take them cookies. So, now at this point, in my eyes, the game is over. But, since we are on this site, or not on this site, but I guess we didn't agree to that be game over, we're going to continue to play. But you're going to actually see that the play clock is actually around 2 or 3 or 1 every time. And as you can see, it's already 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and 1:30 by the time he gets the ball back. So, and that was only from like maybe the 30-yard line, if that. So, as you can see, it can be pretty extreme depending on how effectively they use the clocking, how effectively they move the ball down the field. Are they taking first, second, and third down? Are they just getting first downs on the first play? Are they letting the clock run down to 1? Or are they letting it run down to 10? There's different extremities to how badly you clock or how much you use the clock or whatever. So that's just one thing you want to be prepared for going into any game. Depending on your opponent, they might clock you to death. So, that's just one thing to be on the lookout for. And as you can see, he went down, got his touchdown, scored his points, and yeah, we got the ball back at the 20 with with the whole entire fourth quarter remaining. And as you can see, there's already 3 minutes, and pretty much what you're going to see here is he's not going to get the ball back for the rest of this game. So that's just kind of to show you an example of how extreme clocking can be, which is the reason why I posted this gameplay, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how, big an effect it can have on a game, how big of a deal it really is, and why in money games, do not find yourself down early. Do not, give your opponent that big lead, because if it comes down to it, there is a good chance you cannot get the ball back. But hopefully this video gave you guys a little bit of lesson on clocking and the difference between, I'll give a few more videos on the difference between free games and money games, but I think this is really one of those big ones right here is clocking. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this and hopefully you learned a thing or two. Keep your stat sheet clean, watch out for clocking, and know when to clock. 3 keys for success. We gone.